Good morning. Hey, you! Come back here!
Oh, hello.
Who do you think you are driving through here like that?
Why, I'm Porky Pig.
Oh, so you're Porky Pig. And you want to go in there. And you want me to be a nice guy and let you go in there. So I can lose my job. Well, I'm not a nice guy. And I'm not going to let you in. And I'm not going to lose my job. But I am going to throw you out. Get out and stay out.
My main brain tells me you should be listening to Pixels in the Animation. Because if you aren't, I'll punch your lights out.
Colonel William Guile, one of the greatest martial artists in the world, travels the global tournament circuit, using it to conceal his top-secret mission as leader of an elite group of international crime fighters known only by their code name, Street Fighter. The heroic man-beast, Blanka, hard-kicking fighting machine, Chun-Li. Team of the most amazing warriors ever seen have joined forces with Guile to combat the criminal empire of Shadaloo and its superhuman leader, Bison. They have their own code of honor, discipline, justice, commitment, and together they will triumph against the forces of evil. Street Fighter!
Hello and welcome to the 62nd episode of Pixels in the Animation. I am one of your hosts, Teotihuacan Mike, and joining me is TV's Mr. Dale.
Can you guys sit through another season of Street Fighter? Sure you can!
No, we really can't. So we are here once again. This is Street Fighter Part 3. This is Season 1, Part 2, if that makes any sense. Or no. Season 2, Part 1.
Okay,
God, this show.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute here. This got me just so. Oh Lord. So we've got, and the funny thing is, the thing only had what, 26 total episodes? Between, yeah. Oh. God, I almost think we should have done just 13 and 13. We would have been in these episodes forever. So we're just going to get right to it, folks, unless you've got anything. Well, I guess we can talk about really quickly. When we released episode, I think, 60 or 61, we mentioned that Street Fighter V had come out.
Right.
And then after that, as soon as it released, they're like, I saw people online complaining about there was no single-player mode or something or other.
There's no arcade mode.
Oh.
I guess there are, like, short single-player campaigns, but still it's kind of crappy.
Yeah, I don't want to play Street Fighter V. I mean, I know everything nowadays is all, co-op and online play and all that, and playing with your friends and all that jazz, but I've always been a huge fan of the single-player arcade kind of campaign kind of style, and if there isn't one in there, then no. Plus, not having that kind of makes the game overpriced at, what, $60?
Yeah, apparently there's going to be a lot of free DLC, but that's kind of...
Yeah.
We're going to roll out the full game over a long period of time, and then we'll sell the Game of the Year edition, which will have everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's how they get you. Alright, so we are starting Season 2, Part 1, with The Hammer Strikes. So Satin Hammer has returned. This originally aired September 21st, 1996. Needing the help of the Street Fighters, Dalsim summoned them to his remote mountain temple by causing Blanka considerable mental pain. It seems that the Satin Hammer has returned and wanted to steal an atomic bomb that Dalsim currently had in his possession. Guile brought Blanka, T-Hawk, and Sawada along with him for the mission, even though personal feelings still existed between T-Hawk and the Satin Hammer. Eventually, the Street Fighters stopped the Satin Hammer's plot when Dalsim deactivated the atomic bomb's countdown timer. Oh. Did we really need this episode?
No, and what's even worse is that for some reason this episode got a really good animation studio behind it, because this is like the best animated episode of the entire season as far as I can tell.
Yeah. I don't know, folks. I do think, because they didn't explain it at first, I do think that the quote-unquote torturing of Blanka was interesting. Kind of reminds me of when Martian Manhunter did it with Superman and Justice League. When they were in the opening three-parter of Justice League, Secret Origins, they were, it was basically the same plot. You know, Martian Manhunter was trying to reach out to Superman with his mental powers, and that's what Dalsim was doing here. At first, I thought it was really cheesy, though, because I'm like, oh, great, they're doing the Blanka's still tortured. Like, don't get me wrong, the guy's a tortured soul, but even throughout this season, they continue this and continue. Like, there's no real conclusion. I mean, we kind of get one a little bit later that we'll talk about, but like, I'm just. There's only so many episodes you can sit here and say, oh my god, it's a monster.
I mean, they're trying to give him a character arc, but I'm not getting any of it.
I get it. I mean, I'm kind of getting it now. I wasn't getting it at first. The reason why I wasn't getting it at first is because how they do quote-unquote character arcs is they'll do an episode that's supposed to build character up, and then the next episode is something completely, like, you and I come from a generation of, you know, More Than Meets the Eye, parts 1, 2, and 3, The Ultimate Doom, parts 1, 2, and 3. We get a beginning, a middle, and an end, and a conclusion. With those 6 episodes of Transformers Generation 1, sure, they left you on cliffhangers and everything else, but at least they didn't wait 6 episodes to give you the next part of the story.
They're trying to pace it out a bit better, and I do think that this is a better season for that. But there's no real point to all this Blanka stuff. It seems to be about him being comfortable in his skin and dealing with what's been handed to him. But it just, I don't know. That's not something you need to drag out over multiple episodes.
And I had really forgotten how much, and I'm sure 80s tunes did this too, but I wrote it down as 90s cartoons, used the nuclear threat as a plot. Somebody's always got an A-bomb. Somebody's always got a nuke. I mean, I don't know. And then Hawk and Hammer, man, that guy really needs to get a clue. She hates all men. Come on now.
Right.
Get a clue.
I gotta say something is that the last time Satin Hammer was on an episode, I put something on Facebook that was about how she's basically one of the characters from Bubblegum Crisis. And I got a couple people who are like, well, just because, you know, she looks derivative doesn't mean she is. And she kind of looks like Mega Man X. You guys are fucking morons. I mean, even more evident in this episode. I mean, look at her fucking helmet. She's totally a Night Saber. Come on.
Yeah.
These people were watching anime. It's
that's the difference between you and I. My girlfriend Jen's gonna try to get me into it. I've never really been into anime. It isn't because I don't like it. It isn't because I don't like the way it looks. My biggest thing is, and I know I need to get over this, I feel like it's work for me to have to sit there and read subtitles if it's not in the English language. that's just my own personal vice when it comes to anime, but I've never said that I can't stand anime. I can't say that because I never really watch it that much. So I'm gonna be willing to give some of it out a try, but you're more into the anime stuff than I am, and all that. And
I do not read subtitles. I am fully on board with English language dubbing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand why those people would say she looks like Mega Man. If anything,
Because she's blue, I guess, but that's not even close.
not even close to Mega Man X. I would say she's a sexed up, quote unquote, because we don't really see too much of her body, but I would say that she's more of a sexed up version of the Mega Man Legends Mega Man. As far as how bulky her armor is and stuff, like that 3D style of, I don't know. I don't see Mega Man X when I look at Satin Hammer.
No.
I don't know. What else did you want to say about this one?
Just comment on the animation a bit. Just, you can tell that they gave this out to some, I don't even know what studio this is, but they gave it out to someone who just really went out of their way to be like really flashy. I mean, there was still some derp faces in this episode, but there were a lot of quick edits and like really impressive animation. And you know, these animators were trying to make the characters look cooler than their animation models actually appear to be. So yeah, especially like how it opened, how there was a fight between Sawada and Guile for some reason. And they were just going completely nuts with that. I mean, at one point he slices a tank in half. And it gets all like, you get to see all the minutia of the tank flying everywhere. It's like what the hell? What happened to this cartoon? This is nothing like the last episode.
Okay, I'm looking at, because I've got the Wikipedia pulled up here for the for the episode synopsises. Under production, it says production companies: InVision Entertainment, Madhouse, Sunrise, Graz Entertainment, and USA Studios.
Yeah. This is like the Call of the Primitives episode of Street Fighter. It's like unexpectedly good animation for some reason. I mean, it still doesn't touch the Street Fighter 2 animated movie, but it's. I was surprised by how good it was.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What would you rate this episode, 0 to 5 stars?
I'll give it a 3 just because it was animated well. The story was kind of meh. I mean, there's no point to Satin Hammer. I don't think we ever see her again.
I'm going to give it a 2. I agree with you on the animation. The animation was gorgeous. This is the final time we will see Satin Hammer, I believe, because I haven't watched the second half of the first season, or the second season yet. So, yeah. And then we get to... Man, I wish I had a Chris Harrison clip right about now. This week on The Bachelor... Oh my god. Cammie and The Bachelor is episode 2 of season 2, episode 15 overall. A crime wave has taken over London, and Bison is thought to be the one responsible for it. So Guile, Cammie, and Honda join forces with Delta Red to take down Bison, Birdie, and Sodom. I assume Birdie and Sodom are the alpha characters. Okay.
Sure.
During the fight, Bison seemingly takes over Cammie's mind, and she immediately switches allegiances. With a backup plan in full readiness, Bison and Cammie manage to escape. My first note on this, like I already said, so this week on The Bachelorette, Cammie must choose between Guile and Bison. I swear, whatever Bison did to her, and Bison is still saying, oh, I didn't do anything to her, I just reverted her to what she originally was. Other than playing as Cammie or seeing people play as Cammie in the games, I know nothing. Like, is this like breaking ground for her character, or is this something we've seen in the games?
This is actually from the games. This, like I said in a previous episode, Cammie, as far as any character in Street Fighter goes, she has the most ridiculously overcomplex character arc of any of them. Because she was evil at first, but then she turned good because but there's like an amnesia angle in there, and it's like she doesn't believe that she was once Bison's agent, but then the alpha games confirm it, and it's just kind of, it's really ridiculous. And
So basically what you're saying is it's a clusterfuck.
it is a clusterfuck, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's even a little weird because if you follow the timeline, because they give the characters ages and birth dates, follow the timeline, and you follow it back to figure out how old Cammie was when she was with Bison. It's kind of weird because
What was she, like 12 or 13?
Like 14 or 15, and it's like, ooh.
Oh Lord! And Bison's an old man. Oh, I feel like we've stopped reviewing Street Fighter and we're starting to review some forensic file case or something, or some investigation discovery. Oh my God!
Subway eat fresh.
Oh God! I don't know how to recover from this now, folks.
Well, Bison does have the same mincing smile as Jared Vogel.
Oh. Oh boy. I mean, I like the animation in this. I like seeing the Omega, what is it, Alpha Red, Omega Red, whatever the hell the team's name is. Her MI5 mates. I like seeing them again. But other than that, I was pissed that this ended on a cliffhanger, and then to come to find out the next episode is not going to resolve it. And they don't even, and we'll talk about this in the next episode briefly, but they don't even mention it. And this isn't even a thing of a show airing episodes out of order at all. This is the order.
This is the production order.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Any other comments on Cammie and The Bachelor?
Actually, I thought the animation was kind of lousy. I mean, I was kind of aggravated that they wasted the good animation on the hammer strikes. They gave the shitty studio to this episode. It's like, this is a story episode. What are you doing?
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5. What about you?
I'll give it a 1.
Mm-hmm. Up next is the continuing saga of Blanka, a new kind of evil. Oh, yay. Chun-Li is attacked by mysterious mutant assailants, as well as having her TV crew kidnapped. She calls for Guile and Blanka's help to track them down, which leads to a search in the sewers. They soon find out that a former scientist of Bison's named Quinn, who is continuing mutant research, has mutated 3 thugs into half-man, half-eel, alligator, and bat warriors.
I want to backtrack for a second.
Okay.
They're in the sewers and they encounter mutagen. What cartoon are we watching?
Yep. Where is Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello when you really need them? Uh-huh. In the ensuing battle, Blanka receives a mega dose of mutagen ooze, which turns him even more feral. Note, this episode is where Blanka became Evil Blanka. Okay, so there's 2 things which you already pointed out. You know, sewers, mutagen, turtles equals, obviously. And then the next thing I can think of about, you know, the mutagen, you know, the super dose of mutagen, all I can think of is, it's a super shredder! Poor Kevin Nash, but he got a paycheck out of it.
I mean, that's the whole point of this episode, is just to get him to...
Yeah, Evil Blanka.
Just to turn him wicked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people, if you've listened to the show in the last couple episodes, you know I'm kind of tired of the whole Blanka storyline, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not even evil Blanka. It's more like Blanka puberty. He's having like hormonal rages.
He's going through Pon Far.
Nobody understands me. Her albums.
Oh,
so
good.
Age.
Yeah.
Like animals.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, this episode, I'm trying to let's see, Okay, so and you can correct me if this is the right name for the move or not. I've always loved Chun-Li's lightning kick, but I've complained about it so far that she hasn't really used it. And then when she finally does use it, she uses it on a car. Is that even like I know her lightning kick is is kind of like Guile's flash kick and whatever else, but like, can she really destroy a car?
That is actually in the game. There's a bonus stage where you beat up a car.
Okay.
And it's in, not only is it in Street Fighter 2, but it's also in Final Fight. And then the guy comes on the screen, he's like, "Oh my car."
Yeah, because it's been years since I've played Street Fighter 2, so I did not. Okay. And then the mutants. She's a human and a woman at that. That's one thing about this cartoon. They are equally sexist either way. Because you got Satin Hammer with, I hate men, and then you got some of the male characters basically putting women down. So at least it's not one way or the other.
Equal opportunity offender.
Yeah, pretty much. Next note was something more about lightning kick. Just absolutely love that.
Oh, Hager made a cameo in this, but I don't think it was supposed to be Hager. I don't know, because he shows up in a later episode, but it's clearly not supposed to be the same character.
Oh, okay. When you said Hagar, it's not what I thought. I'm like, wait, why is the witch from Voltron in Street Fighter?
This wasn't Sammy Hagar.
It could have been David Lee Roth. So this was the scientist from before, and we are continuing the Blanka story again. It might as well be called Blanka the Animated Series at this point. Because his arc has been going on throughout the whole series. It's not just this season. You had the whole thing with him and Dalsim last season. When they were on the island, when he was trying to become human again, and etc., etc. I don't know. What are you going to give this one?
I'll give it a 1.
Same here. I almost gave it a 0 because I'm just so sick of Blanka's storyline. I'll wait for that, though.
Blanka and Jax need to get together and just go camping and just chill the fuck out.
I would almost agree to that, except I think Rory and Jax need to have a team up. Rory from the MI5 Buds, because they both have bionic arms.
No.
All right. Next episode, the world's greatest warrior. While visiting their master Goken, is it Goken?
Yeah, it's Goken.
Okay. Goken, there we go. Ryu and Ken are challenged by the evil Akuma, who claims to have stolen Goken's chi and will do the same thing to them. Akuma gives Ryu and Ken time to train so they might stand a chance against him. During the course of their sparring sessions, however, Ken injures Ryu's left arm, which leaves Ryu in a bad state during the time of the fight's progression. Akuma uses the advantage to easily defeat Ryu, only to get defeated himself by Ken's Flaming Dragon Punch. Freeing Goken and Ryu's chi. Despite his apparent defeat, Akuma vows that he'll return and attempt to steal more chi. Okay, I have to say this now.
Yeah.
Out of all the crap that we've watched in this series, this might be the best episode out of the entire series as far as storyline. Because I don't think I've ever seen or Ken and Ryu, like how they met up. I don't think the game goes into it that much. Again, I could be wrong. I haven't played the game in 20 years. But I just, story-wise, I love this episode. Because at the beginning of the series, Guile is like, oh, Ken and Ryu, I have to use them. So I'm glad that Guile and the rest of the Street Fighter team is anywhere near any of this. You'd think that they would be, but they're not. I just absolutely love this one. What about you?
It was all right. I mean, it's a better episode than
Cammie and the Bachelor.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing is that it seems to be a little out of order because there's another episode called "So You Want to Be in Pictures," in which Ken is back to being an ass, and it seems like that episode comes before this one, and so
Yeah, they could have reversed
Yeah.
this.
In fact, I think it was because one of the playlists I was kind of uh, looking at actually did have it reversed.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, the best thing about this episode is there's actually a plot here that delves into Ken and Ryu more so than the traditional Guile save the like. Every episode has been Guile save the world, Guile and the team save the world, and the whole thing with Cammie's plot lines and Blanka's plot lines, they kind of tie into because Guile's always setting out to save somebody, stop somebody from doing something, and this is it's almost like a self-contained episode in the entire series because I don't even think, and I just watched this today. You think I'd remember this? I don't even think the rest of the team shows up in this episode, right?
No.
It basically ends with Ken and Ryu walking away.
It's like they remembered who the main characters were.
Yeah.
And I like that they actually worked it into the game progression where Ken gains the flaming dragon punch.
Yeah. Absolutely. What are you going to give this one?
I'll give it a 3.
As much as I've seen of this series, I gotta give this a 5. I loved every bit of this. The animation could have been a little bit better, but I mean, what are you gonna do? But story-wise, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna visit a certain cartoon studio out in Hollywood because you ought to be in pictures.
It's action. It's drama. It's comedy. It's Decian, the superhero webcomic. Decian's got superhero antics and sexy girls. Read it now at Decian.com. DASIEN.com.
Lunch!
Hey, Porky. Hey, you want a good job? Yeah, but I've got a good job position.
Oh, you call this a job? Working in cartoons? Pooh. I know where you can get a job in features. As Betty Davis's leading man. $3 grand a week.
Oh, I'm not good enough for that. Besides, I've got a contract here.
You can get out of that. Just go up and tell the boss that you want to quit.
Do you think I ought to?
Sure. Come on. You don't get an opportunity like this every day. Come on.
Maybe I ought to wait until tomorrow.
Oh, what's the matter? You scared? Go ahead and knock.
No, I'm not afraid.
Go on and knock. Louder. No. Like this.
Come in. Hello, Porky. Come on in.
Hello, Mr. Slesson. Hello, Leon.
Well, Porky, what's on your mind? What can I do for you?
You see, I've been in cartoons a long time, and I was thinking that I thought if I had a chance to act in the features, what's Errol Flynn got that I haven't?
You mean to say you want to get out of your cartoon contract?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, if that's the way you feel about it, it's all right with me. You sure you know what you're doing?
Yes.
Well, if you say so, I'll tear up your contract, if that's what you want.
Yes?
Well, if that's the way you feel about it, it's all right with me. Okay, Porky. Don't forget me when you're a star. He'll be back.
Did you quit? Did you quit?
Yeah, I quit.
That's swell, that's swell, that's swell. Now you go out to the studio and you tell them I sent you. Remember, don't take less than $6 grand a week. Boy, now is my chance.
That's right, folks. We are at Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies. We are at Leon Schlesinger Studios. When last time when I read off the episodes that were going to be reviewed for Street Fighter in this episode of Pixels the Animation, one of the episodes is So You Want to Be in Pictures. And I commented to you, I don't know if I commented to you in the episode or after the episode, I said, you know, can we just review You Ought to Be in Pictures with Porky and Daffy?
Because it's way better than this episode, and nothing really happens in this episode.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here's the entire episode. Gee, we should be helping Guile. Nah, I want to stay here and be a dick. And that's the entire episode. Nothing happens.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'll go ahead and read the synopsis here, but it's pretty much like you just said. Ken and Ryu are asked to help Fei Long with his latest movie project. Investors in the film, however, pull funding from out of the movie, which leaves Fei Long with no way to raise awareness about the evil crime boss Wu Fat. Ken is forced to ask his father to reinvest in the film so that he can continue. Ken gets creative license for the script and writes himself in as the star instead of Fei Long. Both men have a climactic showdown which results in the entire movie studio burning down. Yeah. So You Ought to Be in Pictures. This is one of Porky and Daffy's more famous cartoons. Who is the animator? The guy drawing Porky when the thing first shows up?
I don't remember off.
I couldn't place him.
Probably either Tex or I don't know.
I don't think it was Bob Clampett. I don't think he was with Leon. I don't remember. So basically, this is Daffy trying to convince Porky to go into the actual pictures, to the live action movies, to basically tear up his cartoon contract and leave Leon Schlesinger Studios and go to the films. And Porky does this because Daffy, you'll get $3 grand a week or $6 grand a week or I can't believe those prices. Even back then for that time, like that, wow. I know it's Hollywood, folks, but geez. I think my favorite part about this is, even though it's not Mike Maltese's voice, you have Mike Maltese as the security guard, right, with Mel Blanc voicing him. Oh, that's my favorite part. What about you?
I'm just really impressed with all the mix of live action cartoons in this, because this was decades before Roger Rabbit, and even Roger Rabbit was like way ahead of its time. So the fact that they did this during the 30s.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I assume we're both going to give You Ought to Be in Pictures a 5. As far as So You Want to Be in Pictures, well, I like this as another episode where Ken learns a lesson. It's just so bad compared to the previous episode.
It's kind of redundant.
What are you going to give it?
I'll give it a 0. It's not it adds at all.
It's right there, double 0. I mean, even though Ken does learn a lesson, it still doesn't make up for anything that Up next is the next in the Blanka saga, Face of Fury. Guile and Blanka take a trip to the Middle East to cool hostilities between the Arabs and the Israelis, but Blanka's temper gets the best of him, and he attacks them all. Vega, watching this drama unfold in prison, swears revenge against Blanka for destroying his face. Vega easily escapes and flies to Hawaii for a final battle while taking whatever. Blanka's love interest hostage, Blanka almost manages to kill Vega, but with the combined efforts of Mei Li and Guile, Chun-Li, they were able to prevent Vega's death at the hands of Blanka. Okay, first of all, explain to me, what the hell? I think I asked this last time. What the hell is Vega's problem? His face is not disfigured. He doesn't look like Prune Face from Dick Tracy, for crap's sake. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I guess he got a little scratch. I don't know. You don't
No.
see his face except for like a couple very brief shots, and I didn't see anything. I mean, there may have been like something drawn in, but I couldn't catch it.
The only time I caught it was at the very end, right before Blanka was going to kill him. There was a black eye. Like, there was a clear, dark, like, completely dark circle, like, around where his nose and his eye, like, that whole, like, basically the whole left side of your face. Like, there was that, but it was, like, for a half a second.
Yeah, but black eyes means that's a recent injury, and those actually heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless he had some sort of orbital, which would make him cross-eyed like Shawn Michaels or something like that.
Yeah. Oh God, Chun-Li is the Shawn Michaels of the Street Fighter universe.
No.
Super kick. It's decent continuity. I was hoping with going back to Hawaii and Blanka seeing his love interest and all that it might have like calmed him down a little bit. Sadly, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
There's no way that it would be that easy for Vega to break out of prison. No way.
Well, they made a comment early in the episode where they said that they had to let him keep his mask, otherwise he just would keep beating up prison guards. And it's like, wait a minute, if he could just beat up the prison guards, how are they keeping him in?
Yeah.
We have guns, shoot him.
I know, right? And my final note for this is, please tell me this is the end of the Blanka saga. I don't know if it is or not. For now it is, but I don't know if it really, really is. Any other thoughts on Blanka Part 2? Or 3, or whatever this is?
Just the random political joke they threw in there, which Arabs and Israelis unite. This first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Like that is really political for a '90s children's cartoon.
Yep. Yeah, it is. What are you gonna give this one?
A 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1 as well. I've had enough of Blanka's character arc. I'm like, why not give Guile something to do other than try to get back with his ex? I mean, oh wait, that's why Cammie Must Die. So Cammie Must Die is part 2 of the Cammie saga. Bison charges Cammie and his cybernetic creation La Lupa. Just call her Lady Deathstrike, please. I mean, come on.
Yeah, pretty.
Come on. To steal a priceless Kali statue for him, the statue has meditative powers that Bison hopes will help him heal his wounds from his previous battle with Guile. The Street Fighters team up with Delta Red to help get to the bottom of Cammie's switched allegiances, and during the battle, Cammie gets knocked on the head, which frees her from Bison's mental control, supposedly. Cammie then takes the Street Fighters and Delta Red to Bison's hideout, where she betrays them once more. Bison and Cammie are then able to escape on the Love Boat.
See, it's been so long since we've seen Bison that I actually forgot that he was injured in the episode he was in. I'm like,
yeah.
Why is he in bandages? Oh, wait. Just imagine if you were watching this every week when it was being aired. It would have been like 6 weeks between episodes, and you'd be like, what the hell is going on?
It would have been sheer torture.
You would have forgotten that what happened to Bison.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I would have rather have watched... I don't even know. I would have rather have watched 6 episodes of Battletoads if they ever made those, which they didn't. We'll get to that in a few episodes, folks. Episode 69 is going to be all about video games that got one cartoon episode. So Cammie must die. Basically, everybody has orders to either kill Cammie or bring her in alive. It's basically, alive or, dead or alive kind of thing. I just, I don't know what to say about this one because we don't really get a true answer yet. Did Bison mind control her? Did he change her the way she was once?
They kind of did answer it because they revealed that she was with Bison before she was with the Delta Red, and they're doing the back and forth amnesia thing where she gets bonked on the head once and then she forgets, and then she gets bonked on the head again. She remembers. I mean, that was kind of lampooned in an episode of Stripperella where one of the characters figures out her secret identity, and she's like, I have to tell the world Stripperella's secret identity, and then something else hits her on the head and she forgets. And then it's like a running gag through the entire cartoon.
Well, now I know who's going to be on Tooncast Beyond episode 69 with me when we review Stripperella.
Oh, no. I have that cartoon on DVD. It is a guilty pleasure of mine. It's so stupid.
Yeah, what do you give Cammie Must Die?
Well, the animation was better, and I guess I'll give it a 2.
I'm not going to be as generous. I'm going to give it a 1.5. I'm not sick of the Cammie storyline. It's not like my feelings about the Blanka storyline where I just want it to conclude. But the Cammie storyline is leaving me with, give me answers now. And yeah, you said we kind of got the whole amnesia thing back and forth, and we kind of found out that she was with Bison at one point. But it's what I want answers to now is he really mind controlling her, or did he just lift us, did he just, unhex her? So I don't know.
I think the problem is that we're not really getting any backstory. It's just like, get a picture and then that's it. And that, that the cartoon's ending soon, so we're really not going to get anything satisfactory. I think they have like 1 or 2 episodes to really wrap it up because there's a lot of filler between them and now.
Yeah, there is, because the series finale is Cammie Tell Me True.
Yeah.
Episode 26. And we'll get to that next time around, but...
There were random bionic sounds in this episode, by the way.
Well, that's because of Rory. I mean...
The bionic woman noises. No. It's hilarious.
Yes, there were. Oh, God, you're right.
Transformers stealing sound effects from Star Wars.
Wait, what?
You never knew about that? Like, almost all the laser blast sounds in Transformers are...
Okay, the laser blast. I thought you meant the transformation sounds. I was going to say, wait a second here. Yeah, that whole section in Transformers the movie where you see Perceptor, it's right before Prime shows up. You see Perceptor run off the battlefield. The whole back and forth, orange laser, purple laser thing. Yeah, all of that is Star Wars sounds in the movie. But yeah, no, that's kind of going to be it for this episode of the show. We're halfway through season 2. Hey, I didn't screw it up this time. We're going to take a quick break. You can hear some ads and some other stuff, and we'll be back after this.
I'm Zangief. I'm bad guy.
Hi, Zangief.
Hi, Zangief. I relate to you, Ralph. When I hit bottom, I was crushing man's skull like sparrow egg between my thighs. And I think, why do you have to be so bad, Zangief? Why can't you be more like good guy? Then I have moment of clarity. If Zangief is good guy, who'll crush man's skull like sparrow's egg between thighs? And I say, Zangief, you are bad guy. But this does not mean you're bad guy.
Hello, geeks and geekettes. Looking for a podcast that covers a vast array of topics?
Then check out Altered Geek Unleashed, where we discuss our thoughts on this week's geeky news, tech, gaming, television shows, movies, cartoons, comics, and more. So, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks. Every Friday on the Geekcast Radio Network.
All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up. After watching the first half of the second season, what are your overall... I know we've said the animation has slightly improved, and it's kind of gone back and forth every other episode. It's good, but has anything improved between this and the last season?
There's more cohesion in the storytelling. I mean, there's actual plot threads that go from episode to episode. They're actually referencing stuff that happened in prior episodes. They're even calling back to the first season, which was just like, random episodes that didn't really connect. The first season didn't connect episode to episode at all. Now, this season is trying to really string everything together, and that's a lot better. The animation is, I think overall it's better than the first season. Of course, that's to be expected. I mean, they probably got a little bit of better budget, and yeah.
You want to know why? Oh man, I don't think he'll ever hear this, thank God. But you want to know why the second season is better than the first season on the writing?
Why?
Because you have, he wrote Tunnel Vision in season 1. You got Len Wein on Cammie and The Bachelor for writing, although Will Mignot did the story on most of the stuff. So you want to be in pictures? Marv Wolfman. How the hell?
What the fuck?
Uh-huh.
The guy who brought Optimus Prime back to life? Oh, wait. that wasn't a very good episode either.
Yeah, I mean, the whole second season kind of flip-flops between Jeremy Kushner. Now, Will Mignot is listed as the story throughout all of this, but the writers, Jeremy Kushner, Len Wein, Bruce Reed Schaefer, Steve Englehart, Marv Wolfman, Steve Perry, Len Wein, Steve Englehart. So yeah.
Yeah, and plus I think there's probably been some writers' meetings in this season. I mean, they probably all got together and said, "Okay, what are we doing?"
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. What do you got coming up? Anything you want to promote?
I'm very close to starting new pages of Decian.com. I'm posting random stuff on Neil's Classic Gaming on Facebook, but now that the Coleco Chameleon saga is over, I don't really have any plans. Basically, probably be just commenting on random classic gaming shit, and not really. Man, I missed that already. That was so fun.
the Coleco thing.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it'll emerge once again. Maybe Atari will pick it up, or Sega, or some other company that's like really stupid and doesn't mind licensing their name out to stupid products.
Nintendo, really?
Huh. No, I didn't say Nintendo. I said either Sega or
Well, I mean, Nintendo has licensed their name out to several different products that they maybe wouldn't have. but yeah,
when they're desperate, and usually they learn from it, because, like I said, the Mario cartoon, they swore off licensing Mario out for a long time.
Yeah. Neil and I were on with Doug on Talking About My Generation for 2 episodes. We talked about consoles, and then the next episode we talked about portable consoles. So you can go check those 2 episodes. That'll have those in the post. Thank you for joining us here on Pixels and Animation. There's several ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can comment on this and all our other episode posts. Email us, feedback at geekcastradio.com. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. Follow us on Twitter at geekcastradio is the network Twitter. Mine is TFG and Mike. What is your Twitter?
Keelan Bailey.
Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/geekcast or Radio Network. Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name. 502-526-5821. There's a 5-minute time limit. We hope you enjoyed the latest episode of Pixels in the Animation and wish you'll join us next time when we're reviewing the final 6 episodes from Street Fighter Season 2, those being The Flame and the Rose. Where's Beauty and the Beast when you really need them? The Warrior King, The Beast Within, Second to None, Final Fight, and Cammie, Tell Me True. For now, I am TF2 and Mike with
TV's Mr. Neil.
Tune in next time. Help us find the pixels in the animation. Drum roll, please. Guess what, Neil?
What?
We actually won an award.
What?
Okay, so for the last 3 years, the Geekcast Radio Network, we do our annual awards thing. We started this 3 years ago. So this year was the 3rd annual Geekcast Radio Network Awards. We basically list out like TV, comics, movies, video games, that kind of stuff that you can vote on or whatever. This year and for years going forward, we're basically having people write in the ballots. So they write in their choices that then become like the top 5 picks of what you can actually vote on. So we also include our network stuff. So the shows, our shows, the syndicated podcast that we syndicate with and all that stuff. And those are the core shows and the review shows. And the review shows this year, it was us, my other show, Powers of Grayskull, which is the He-Man review show, which won last year. I don't remember what the other ones were. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. Showtime Synergy, our gem show that I do. It's mostly all my, because I'm the one that does the review podcast. It's mostly all my shows, so it doesn't matter what one, I'd be a winner anyway. But yeah, no, apparently people want the GCRN to talk video games and video game cartoons. We got the most votes, and we won for Best Review Show this year. 3rd Annual GCRN Awards. Thank you, everyone who voted. Yeah.
I'm speechless.
It's long been deserved. I mean, we've done this show for 4 or so years or more. I don't even know at this point, so...
Well, at least I'm glad that what we did was worth something.
Yes, exactly.